Thank you very much, Mr. Noelvin Hautea, President of the Young Adults with Disabilities. Very beautiful song number. Ano ganing title sina? I Believe in Angels. I have a dream, gali. Sorry. Balan, may wala. Ako lang to TV dan. Okay. At this point, I'd like to introduce our speaker to give the inspirational message on inclusive education. So may I introduce our guest speaker this morning. Our inspirational speaker served as radio anchor in 1996 to 1998 for K-Forum at RMN and sports patrol reporter in 1992 to 1994 over DWIZ AM. In 1993, she was a romance novelist for Sisa Romances and Salesiana Publishing Corporation. She was a part-time teleplay writer for Pira-Pirasong Pangarap for GMA Channel 7 in the year 2000. Since then, she has served as part-time transcriptionist for the Wallace Business Forum, National Anti-Poverty Commission, Philippine Olympics Committee, and the Philippine Survey Research Center. A prolific writer who contributes for Enterprise, Computer World magazines, and national newspapers, she has also been written about in national newspapers and magazines. Our speaker has served as resource person for various seminars and conferences, both here and abroad. She has been interviewed for various TV programs, and the latest, which was on Storyline at ABS-CBN, and has even appeared in a digital movie with Gina Alahar. She wrote her life story for television for Maalala Mo Kaya, entitled Liwanag, portrayed by Miss Claudine Barreto. The same story was chosen as one of the best stories for the 10th year anniversary of Maalala Mo Kaya TV program. She portrayed the lead role in a stage play written and directed by Father James Reuter, entitled The Dolls That Nobody Wanted. From 1998 to 2000, staged at Meralco Theater, AFP Theater at St. Paul's Quezon City Auditorium. She won first prize for the Philippines in the APEC Digital Opportunity Center Best Practices in the Bridging the Digital Divide category. Our speaker is a graduate of Bachelor of Arts in European Languages, major in French, and a Bachelor of Arts, major in Journalism, cum laude, graduate from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. Currently, Executive Director or Officer in Charge for ATRIEV, a computer school for the blind by the blind. She also continues to be Training and Employment Director for ATRIEV. In this position, she conceptualized and directed ATRIEV's fundraising projects, the latest of which was entitled Stand By Me, held at the Meralco Theater last October 2008. But for our speaker, her greatest achievement is being a mom. Bringing another life to this world and to be entrusted by God with that life is the greatest gift and joy she has ever received. So over and above all the titles, being a mom is for her the greatest title of all. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ma'am Carol Catacutan.
To the President of CPU, Dr. Teodoro Robles, our representative from the World Bank KDC, Public Relations Officer Ms. Moira Enerva, our deans from the different colleges and universities here in Ilo-Ilo, to our parents, educators, and fellow person with disability. Good morning, and I'm very privileged to be here this morning in Ilo-Ilo for the first time. I flew in yesterday. And I am tasked to give an inspirational message. But to me, what I'm going to tell you this morning is a story. The story that is about the struggle of a blind person through education. I remember very clearly, it was not so long, it wasn't such a long time ago. Remember, not such a long time ago, when I applied for the UPCAT, that is the UP College Admissions Test, where around 35,000 students take the test and only around 3,500 are taken in. or accepted. So, I qualified for the UPCAT because of my grades in high school. I applied, I paid for the fee, and on the day of the exam, pagkakita pa lang sa akin, it's okay to use Tagalog, no? Okay. On the day na nakita pa lang ako dun sa room, together with my resource teacher, who will be reading the exam to me, the exam was not given to me. Okay? Why? Kasi paano ka daw iti-take because I'm totally blind. But, you know, I was not born blind. I got blind at the age of 11 due to retinitis pigmentosa. At that time, I was an honor student of the University of Santo Tomas. I didn't even know that I was becoming blind. To me, parang ano lang yun eh. Yung sulat ko, ang gulo na eh. It was just that simple. I was writing from, for those who can see me, I was writing, when you're supposed to write from right to left, from left to right, for those who are sighted. Even for Braille kasi it's from right to left. Anyway, my writing was pa gano'n, no? Papunta na siya sa langit. Okay? Because I cannot see the lines anymore. And I didn't understand. I was very young. I was just a kid. So, my parents brought me from one doctor to another, from one ophthalmologist to another, around, I think, 15. Hanggang sa nagsawa na ako sa kakapatak sa mata ko. And until one doctor told us that, look, you have to take her to the Philippine National School for the Blind because it's a hopeless case. She won't be able to see, even after my eye surgery at the age of 9. So, my parents did what the doctor told them. There was no other choice. And I was brought to the Philippine National School for the Blind, which is a special residential school. What do we mean by special residential school? It's a school where all of us are blind. Diba? Kasama ko bulag. Minsan teacher ko bulag din. So, to me it was new because I came from a school where all of my classmates are sighted. On my first day at PNSB, the blind people started touching my hair, touching my hands, touching my clothes, and I can't take it because I don't understand the culture. I don't understand what blindness meant at that time. So, that was what a residential school is all about. It's all about you and your disability. Kasi pare-pareho kayo, di ba? You are taught in a way that will meet your capabilities and your limitations. But I was so blessed to have a sighted teacher. Her name is Miss Evelyn Caha. Those from the special education, I think, know her. She's a Hall of Famer, di ba? Do you know Miss Evelyn Caha? She introduced me to Braille and brought me back to the life of the real world, using whatever is left of my abilities. What do I mean by that? I am blind, all right. I cannot do anything about it, that's true. But I still have other abilities. I can learn Braille and read and start school again through Braille. Aside from that, she told my parents na, wag niyo siyang lahat iaabot. Pag may kailangan siya, abot yung sinelas niya, abot niyo lahat sa kanya. Hindi. She should learn to be on her own. She should learn to do the things that she still can. Diba? So that's what I learned in PNSB, in the Philippine National School for the Blind, in a residential school. Though pare-pareho kayong bulag, sabihin mong ganon, yung kultura, pare-parehong kultura ng bulag. But I learned to live life again as a normal human being. PNSB taught me daily living skills. And more than that, PNSB gave me back my self-confidence. Diba? Kasi akala ko, hindi na ako makakapag-aral. Akala ko that's the end of the world already. But Philippine National School for the Blind gave me back my self-confidence. But that was not enough. Miss Kaha told me that, look, you have other talents, you need bigger challenges. Not to put down or down the special schools, but the residential schools. But maybe this teacher of mine saw other potentials. So she told me, you go back to normal school. Quit PNSB. It's too easy for you. Where I graduated valedictorian and best pupil and model pupil, what have you. Okay. So go back to integration, to normal school, so that you will really face the real challenges. Okay? So I did. The first time I did was go back to my alma mater, University of Santo Tomas. Baka magalit sila sa akin, pero totoo to. When I went back to UST, I spoke to the principal or of the high school department. I showed him my grades, and then father said, "Oh, your grades are very high. Your teachers must be very generous." You know, it was such an insult, right? Just because I have high grades, my teachers are very generous. What, they are giving away 98 and 95 just like that? It's for free? And despite those, what he call grades out of generosity, he did not accept me. Why? Because UST is not ready to take in blind students. They don't have the facilities. They don't have the teachers. They don't have a host of they don't haves. So, what was my next option? To go to a school where they have. And that is Ramon Magsaysay High School, where there is a SPED or a resource center. So in Ramon Magsaysay, I experienced integration. Okay? Take note, there is supposed to be a resource center where our exams as blind students integrated, mixed with the regular sighted students. Our exams should be brailled. We should have assistants when we take exams, and a host of other assistants for our needs as special students or students with special needs. But the thing was, our resource room was just a room. No teacher. Ang resource room namin nun, tambayan, nagkakantahan, naglilinis. Yon ang resource room, unfortunately at that time. Because the teacher at that time was also the clerk of the school. So wala nang time. But integration ideally should have the support services for students who are mainstreamed in regular classes. For example, in math, ang mga bulag dyan, ang hirap ng math, di ba? Ang hirap aralin ng math, di ba? So, supposedly, merong braille sa math, but during my time in Ramon Magsaysay, and don't ask when was that, wala lang. Ako lang mag-isa. I was just so lucky, and I was privileged to have two best friends. The bestest of friends. We were classmates from second year to fourth year. And you know what these two girlfriends of mine did? They alternated reading to me the exams during class. Okay? Palitan sila. Yung kaklase ko magaling sa math, siya nagbabasa ng math sa akin. Siyempre, nagpapalit na kami ng sagot. And then, yung kaklase ko na magaling sa English, siya nagbabasa ng English sa akin. And I survived. I survived because of people who are ready to help. And because, as a blind person, you also want to help yourself. You should find ways, di ba? Wala eh. Non-existent yung dapat na existent doon eh. But you have to survive since you are already in that situation. You don't have any other choice but to prove yourself than suffer. And through the assistance of these classmates of mine, I was able to finish high school, section 2. That's why I qualified for the UPCAT. UPCAT. Going back to my story about UPCAT. So, how in the world was I able to study in UP? Diba? Hindi naman ako nakapag-UPCAT eh. Eh, paano? Makulit ako. You just don't accept things. You have to fight for your right. And education is our fundamental right. Regardless of who we are or what our limitations are, or regardless of our differences as people, education is our right. So, that's what I did. I fought for that right. So when I was taking the UPCAT, they stopped me at the middle of the exam. Pinayagan akong mag-take ng exam, but they assigned another proctor. At the middle of the science exam, there were, I think, four parts. I don't remember now. Timed yun, 55 minutes sa science, 55 minutes sa math, etc., etc. So, the middle of ng science, pinahinto ako. Pinapunta ako doon sa registrars. Sabi sa akin, okay, just go back in May. Hindi ko alam kung yung May hapon o May ano. Basta balik daw ako ng May. Akala ko naman, okay na ako. Di saya ko, pinababalik ako ng May, di ba? I was so thrilled. Because the registrars told me that I should be back in UP in May. What I did not take any other exam in any other school. Kumpiyansa ako, wow, UP student na ako pagdating ng May. Bumalik kami ni Miss Kaha, who was with me still at that time. When we went back to UP in May, nakalimutan na nila ako. They didn't even remember who I was or what they told me. I think that was in December when I was taking the exam. What am I to do? I didn't take any other entrance exam in any other university for that matter. My last choice, I remember that time, was to enroll in Conservatory of Music in UST. Gusto ko ng music, ayaw ng music sa akin. Kaya nagkwekwento na lang ako sa inyo ngayon. Okay? So, yun. Sabi ko, hindi pwede to. Diba? Wala akong I love to study. I love to learn. And I just can't simply take their no for an answer. So I was brought to the dean of the secretary of the university. He interviewed me. His name was Martin Gregoria. I still remember that. And this was what he told me. Do you realize the harsh and hard realities of studying in this university? UP is about competition. Creme de la creme nga naman, di ba? Sino lang ba nakakapasok doon? But you know what I told him? I told him that, sir, all I need is a chance. Just give me that chance. If I pass, give me 1 semester. If I pass the first semester, then I can continue. If I fail, then kick me out just like anyone else, di ba? I'm not asking for special privileges. All I'm asking is 1 chance. So, sabi niya sa akin, okay, I'm going to give you that chance. But you're going to take 9 units. So I enrolled. Pag-enroll ko ng 9 units, hindi pala pwede sa first year ang 9 units. Kailangan 15 units, full load. So nag-15 units ako, and the story went on. And UP didn't even realize that I graduated cum laude after several years. But, how was UP life? What Dean Gregorio told me about the harsh and hard realities, it's not an understatement. It is, in fact, so real and so true. It was indeed harsh and hard. Why do I say that? UP kasi, parang kasing laki nitong Central Philippine University, maliligaw ka sa loob. Di ba? So, una, mawawala ka na sa loob. Pangalawa, hindi ako block eh. It's not block section. So, every subject, iba kaklase mo. There were times na natatapos ako sa klase na hindi alam nung kaklase ko na bulag yung katabi niya. Hindi, kasi yung mga hindi nakakita sa akin, nakadilat po ako. Yung mata ko po ay nandidilat pag nagagalit. Okay. So, yun. Ganon. What I did, I approached my professors one by one every time I enroll. Sabihin ko na sa kanila, look, sir, ma'am, I am blind, I am ganon. The first question, how were you able to enroll in the school? Pasensya kayo, makulit ako di ba? And then, there was this teacher that, how will you take the exams? Di ba? Tinatanong yun, dito sa CPU siguro, ganun nilang tanong, how will they take the exams? So it depends. To my Spanish teacher, I told her that she can give the exams to me orally. Kasi, kwento-kwento lang yan, salita lang naman yung Spanish So, orally. When I took my psych subject, I also took the exams orally, but it was tape recorded. Para, essay kasi yun Para ma-review ng professor ko, baka binobola ko lang siya, di ba? Psych yun So, nire-record para i-review kung tama ba yung mga pinagsasagot ko, ganon. Meron akong professor in chemistry, which is a very hard subject. I praise that man because this man doesn't even know what inclusive education is, but he went out of his way. He created, mga models. Are you familiar with the chemical na yung SDF na electron chuchu? Something. Wala, di ba? May S, may D, may F, di ba? Yung mga model, ginawaan niya ako ng models noon na pwede kong kapakapain. And he asked me to go to his office 30 minutes before my class para mag-one-on-one kami. So I was so lucky that he gave me that privilege. And when I take my exams in chem, since I can still write yung write ng script, yung dikit-dikit, he created, parang gano'n yung bababa mo lang siya para doon sa blue book mo, nakatama yung line niya. And then he asked me to write my exams myself. He went out of his way. And that, I call, is more than inclusive education. And I got flat 1 in that subject. Not because of me. Not because of me, but because of my teacher who gave me that chance to understand. Di ba? Kahit bulag ka nang naipaliwanag sa'yo, kaya mong anawain, kaya ka naka-respond. Nag-top ako sa exam ng class ko. Because of my teacher. And there was this teacher of mine naman in English who took me in because I'm blind. O, di ba? Ibang kwento yon. Kasi iba, ayaw ka dahil blind ka. Siya, nung malaman niyang blind ako, she took me in kahit puno na yung klase niya. Why? Because she wants the experience of dealing with a blind person. And my teacher naman in French, since wala namang makakabasa ng French, pag nag-exam ako, malay bang basahin ng reader ko yun, di ba? Parles bus Frances niya babasahin yun. So, yung parlez-vous français. My teacher in French, she was the one reading the exams to me. So these people, they went out of their way to ensure that my disability won't be an hindrance to my learning. But I had other professors who did the opposite. Meron akong teacher, ang subject niya, hamak na political science lang, napakadaling subject. Political science lang yun. Nakakainis. Kasi, how will you take the exam? Sabi ko, ma'am, we can take it orally. No, I don't want it orally. Sabi ko, ma'am, how do you want it? Ma'am, ano pa nun wala pang laptop, typewriter pa lang ang dala-dala ko nun. Sabi ko, may typewriter ako, ma'am, I can type my exams. Sabi ko sa kanya, sabi sa akin, but it will create a lot of noise. Sabi ko, ma'am, I can take the exam in front of, kumari ito yung door, dito ako sa labas, dito, sa tapat, pwede niya akong panoorin dun, diba? She can even read to me my exam, not my reader. Ayaw niya pa rin. Wala siyang choice. Yun lang ang options na binigay ko sa kanya. Sabi niya. So yun, pinayagan niya ako na mag-take ng exam using a typewriter. Pero habang nagtatype akong ganyan, may naaaninag pa ako pag maliwanag. Nakikita ko siya, sinisilip niyang ganyan na type ko. Kung ako nga yung nagsusulat. You know, these people, sometimes, sighted people, they just doubt us. They doubt what we can do. Even if we show them that we can already do it, they still have doubts about it. But in fairness to all these teachers of mine, at the end of the day, they gave me what is due me. And I give them credit for that. But that is not what we want to achieve here in CPU together with the help of KBC. What we want to achieve here is inclusive education. What do you mean by inclusive education? The fundamental principle of inclusive education is that persons with different needs should be given the opportunity to learn. And not just to learn, the opportunity to learn together. Bakit together? Kasi for the mere term inclusion or inclusive education, we won't be treated any differently. Ayaw naman natin yon, di ba? We will just be given the reasonable accommodation so that we can achieve our full potential. Yun lang yun. And we want to be given the same exams. We want to do the same reports. Gusto nyo ba yun? Ayaw nyo ba yun? Di ba yun ang gusto natin even as educators? Di ba? We don't want naman na laging, bulag siya. Special yung exam niya. Kailangan mas maikse. Diba? Hindi ganon. That's not what we want. What we want is we will be exposed to the same chance to learn, the same things with our non-disabled peers, but with reasonable accommodation. For example, kung mag-e-exam tayo ng English, at marunong tayo mag-computer, instead na pabasa natin sa reader, gawin na lang soft copy so that we can answer right away sa computer and then we can edit our work. Diba? Pwede nating balik-balikan. Kasi pag may reader, nangyari sa akin yun, mali yung spelling nung guide ko, nabawasan ako. Yung live na L-I-V-E, ginawa niyang L-E-A-V-E, o minus na yun, diba? Magkaiba meaning nun. So, ganon. We will be given that same opportunity. And we in ATRIEV, the Computer School for the Blind in Metro Manila, we have started something like that at the Asia Pacific College, which I would like to recommend to CPU to follow. Because in Asia Pacific College, we have a MOA with the school. And then the students who are our scholars have a responsibility to do their best and to give back. Hindi porke bulag tayo, hingi na lang tayo ng hingi. Diba? That's not good. We should give back to our community. So, to give back to other blind people. And Asia Pacific College partnered with IBM for the employment of the blind graduates and with ATRIEV, which gave the sensitivity training to the faculty, installed the necessary devices and assistive technology in the school. And this May 16, we will be having our first graduate in associate in computer technology, and he almost made it as honor student. Sayang, konting-konti lang. Kasi 4 ang highest eh. 3.13 ang honor, 3.25. Konti lang. He's our first graduate in Asia Pacific College. He took up associate in computer technology. He got 4 in Java programming. Those who understand programming, 4, that is equivalent to 1 highest in Java programming. So if it can be done in other schools with the partnership of different organizations, in CPU's case, we have the World Bank KDC, and ATRIEV will definitely support you in any way we can. And with all the disabled people's organizations here and the government support, I'm sure we can realize inclusive education in its truest sense. Before I end, baka inaantok na kayo. I just want to leave this anecdote na sinabi sa akin nung nasa Ramon magsaysay ako. Ano sa inyo marami kong kwentong edukasyon. Sabi sa akin nung teacher ko sa history, when she learned that I was blind. Kasi sabi niya sa akin, Miss Catacutan, can you read that on the board? Sabi ko, ma'am, I cannot read. You mean you reached high school and then you cannot read? Ayun, di ba? Kasi naman ang kulit ko, dapat I cannot see ang sinabi ko, hindi I cannot read, di ba? Anyway, so, when she learned that I cannot read because I cannot see, she talked to me after class. And she told me, Miss Catacutan, you can't really see anything, sabi ko. Yes, ma'am, I can only see the difference between light and darkness. And then she said, so you already lost 1/2 of your life. I was almost speechless. But then I thought it over and then I told her, ma'am, I may have lost 1/2 of my life, but I'll make the most of the other half. Thank you and good morning.